Welcome back to our channel. It's Kai.
And Candy. And today we wanted to talk about some dating norms or like things to expect when you're dating another woman. Because like certain things are like given when you're dating a man, obviously. But when you are dating women, or experiencing, not experiencing, but experimenting, whatever it is that you're doing, it can be a little bit of a challenge to figure out like what's normal, what's not normal. So like one thing I was telling Kyle about is, and we saw a comedian, her name is Paris Lachey, she's really hilarious. But she was talking about the first date with her girlfriend and how, they're both these feminine, lipstick, lesbian, I hate that word, women. So they didn't know, they was drinking drinks, eating food, ordering appetizers, having shots. And then the bill came, and they were like, okay, so who's supposed to pay the bill?
Right.
Because if I saw this with a gentleman, it's expected that he's picking up the check. Right. But with another woman, it's like, how do you determine
who pays for
what to do? So I'll let her answer first because she has more experience in that nature.
So I will say that if you are dating another woman, I feel like whoever asks that person to go out on a date should pay. Okay. So, like, in my past experiences, what will happen is if I ask somebody to go out to a certain place or let me take you out, then that should be on me. But if they say, well, I want to take you out, that should be on them. If nobody discuss, who's, if we just decide we're just going out together, maybe then we will split the bill, or if you have somebody nice like me, I might pay the bill.
Right.
Just because that's just me. But I feel like, when you're dating a woman, you cannot expect that person to pay every time as you would a man. And I feel like even if you're dating a man, you should not want or expect him to pay every time either. You should treat him out sometimes.
That's a different topic for a different day. But, okay, I guess I see it maybe as... It's still, even when you're a woman dating women, and even if both women dress feminine, I think we touched on about how, women can still have masculine and feminine energies. So, like, to kind of piggyback on what you said about it depends on who asks who out. I know that I am the type of woman who is a... kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but like a kitty cat. Like, I will draw your attention. I will want you to come over. I want you to come pet me. I'm not coming to you. So I guess that's the same way I would, and I have dated like, so I've always been asked out and never actually did the asking out. I don't think that, I would ever feel comfortable or confident enough to even do that. So yeah, so I think it depends on what your role is. And I will say that whether I was dating a woman, whether I was dating a man, my role was still the same in being a super ultra feminine type of woman.
Now, do you feel like that will change depending on the time frame that you are in a relationship with somebody? Because it's been times that, I will, she'll be like, let's go out. And, and I'll be like, okay, and she'll say, what do you want? Of course, me, I never know. And when we get there, she'll be like, oh, I'm treating you to dinner.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say, too, about, like, dating, like, a man. Like, eventually, over time, it's not unheard of for a woman to treat her man out for something.
Right.
I guess I was just focused on, like, the first initial
meeting, like when you first meet somebody.
Yeah, like, I expect you to pay. Like, man, woman, whatever, you, cat, dog, you gonna pay.
And I don't know, I guess for me, just because I'm just a nurturing type, I'm the person that's probably going to be the person that's going to wine and dine you, take you out to the best restaurants and treat you to a nice meal.
And this is why this works. So another one that we thought about, and I just thought about too, is about like when you get married, whose last name do you take? Like,
right.
It's always been a given. I mean, I think there's now some new millennial age women that I've heard of that the husband is taking the woman's last name. Certain things, y'all, I swear I feel like I'm in the 1950s when I say it, but I'm just like, that don't
I mean, it seems strange if you're thinking about a man taking a woman's last name, but when you have two women, it's just like, okay, both of you guys are women, so whose name do you take, So I feel like that's definitely a question you want to ask and discuss before you get to that point,
Yeah.
Like, you want to know, like, in the dating process, would you ever get married? And if so, would you want that person to take on your name or would you want to take on their name?
Take the better last name, though.
You could, which one is better? Which one is better? You know what I mean? Like, you could feel like your last name is better, and I could feel like my last name is better.
No. Usually two people do not get together with both good last names. Like, there's always somebody that's like, dang, my last name sucks. And I just can't wait to get married so I can change the last name.
I think you should definitely consider the fact that if that person has children and they have the same last name as your mate, you might want to take on that person's last name because you want to establish a family. Right. So, that person changing their name now, it's like, okay, it's just y'all two now, and it's excluding the children. So I definitely think, depending on who have children, that should be taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking about children, what about carrying children and stuff? What do you do there? I see so many different scenarios. Again, I even see like now studs carrying babies. Mm-hmm. And it's so different than what it was even 10 years ago. I just feel that Kiy really made a good point to me when we talked about motherhood and everything. And she told me that she had the experience motherhood and to experience being pregnant. And she felt like it was something that every woman should experience. And it really opened up my mind to say, yeah, every woman should, if they want it, have that experience, even a stud. Yeah. And I think that feminine women, if you date, studs or butch, or more dominant women, you have to keep in mind
they are still women.
That's still a woman.
Yeah, they're still women.
And she may want to carry children.
Yeah. I don't think we should look down on them just because they may have this masculine personality, but they desire to be a parent, whether they want to be a feminine parent or not. I feel like as a woman, like I said, like she said, I've always expressed to her that every woman, I feel, if you choose to, you have the right to want to experience motherhood. You have that right to say, I want to know what it's like to be pregnant and have a baby and things like that. So, of course, in our case, she decided to be the one to carry because I've already had that experience. So.
Right. So she was just kind of like over it at this.
Like, it's your turn.
Now.
She was like, why don't we do this together, y'all? We never told you this, but it's like, why don't we do this together? I'm like, oh no, this is all about you.
No, not at all. I think when we tried to prank her kids and was like, yeah, like it's her too, and they were like,
no, they didn't believe it at all.
We don't believe it.
Because I've always said, I don't mind being another parent. I know I don't want to physically carry another child,
and that's fine. And then the last one, y'all, is when it comes to like moving in, who moves into whose place? Because again, this is something else that's like a very masculine, feminine type of thing. Women usually are the type to kind of go over to their boyfriend's house and start to like leave stuff there until they slowly move themselves up in there. But like when it's two women, how does that work? And they call like lesbians or whatever, U-Haul lesbians.
What's that? I never heard that before.
Well, basically saying that like they move really fast and like they meet up at the club on Friday. By Monday they got a U-Haul truck.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, I would never like be willing to move on with somebody that quick or even have them move with me, especially having children. But I feel like that's another question that you definitely want to discuss in the midst of meeting and dating somebody. Like, if this goes any further and we become serious, are you willing to move or are you willing to move? If not, are you willing to have this long distance relationship?
Yeah.
And
or not even long distance, but like you being in the same, city and town.
Well,
too.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But I feel like wherever it makes the most sense, So if you have one person who's renting an apartment and one person who owns a house, to me it makes more sense to give up that apartment. That's more finances that you put money out for. It makes more sense to go where the both of you could be more comfortable or just to start fresh.
Okay. All right. Well,
what do you think?
I feel that all these conversations really that we're having at the end of the day, as I'm listening to you, it really shouldn't even have anything to do with two women, two men, man and a woman, because like you just said, it's about what makes the most sense. And if you kind of leave all those gender norms behind, I think that we could be logical and make better logical decisions, even if, you know, sometimes you may have a woman who owns her house and a man who's just, you know, has an apartment, bachelor's pad, or a roommate or something like that. So. And, you know, but because that man may want to have this beat on his chest mentality, he's like, well, I'm not moving into your house with you, but that may make things better.
It might make the most sense.
I think it's about, like she said, what makes the most sense, what makes things better. If you have a better space than me, if you live in a better neighborhood, is it going to make my commute to work easier? All these things are going to matter in your day-to-day life. So don't just settle just for the sake of just saying, oh, well, you know, we're living together now, but now I have an hour and a half commute to work. Great.
And then also, you don't want to start making moves like that to live together unless you really see a future with that person, because, you know, living with somebody and checking up and being roommates, it can be very messy. And sometimes when you live with a person, you start to see their flaws and you start to realize some of those things that they start to do on a daily basis. You start to think to yourself, is this something I can deal with for a lifetime? You know, so before you make that move and give up your own space and go and live with somebody else, you definitely want to make sure that this is a person that you can see a future with, and you can get past those small flaws that they may have. So spend some time checking up, spending the night over each other's houses and things like that before you make that kind of move.
Yeah, and that's it, y'all. That's really all we had to talk about. Comment below, because we were trying to really think about topics, or like, I guess, stereotypical things when it comes to about two women dating. Comment below like some things that you've ran into, or questions you may have, and we may do another video to address those as well. Also, do not forget to enter our 5K giveaway if you haven't. It is on our olive tree mukbang. That'll be right over here scrolling across your screen. If you want to make some really good pasta, check that out. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified. And our P.O. box and registries for baby girl is down below. Anything else to say, babe?
No, thanks again for watching. Y'all know I get all excited when I see all the comments. So as you can see, we do comment back. So keep those questions coming. Keep those positive messages coming. We really do appreciate them. And we will do our best to keep bringing you all the content that you guys are asking for.
Yes, we will. Thanks for watching, y'all. See y'all next time.
See you later.